What's up, world? It's your boy Ma. We're moving up, but we build, we help, and we impact, man, for the glory of God and for the good of those we serve, man. Man, super excited about bringing, man, a story that I believe will be helpful to some of you that are listening, that are educators, that are in the education arena, or that you're working with young people in some capacity, whether it's a student services organization or whether it's, a youth ministry. I think these are valuable tools for connection that'll help you, man. Many of you know, and some of you may not, but when moving up contracts with a school, our ideal partner is to have a school that we can partner with in such a way where we become a consistent positive presence on their campus. So with one particular school district we partner with, we go to their campus every week on a designated day, and we're there all day working with students and also working with educators. When we're working with students, these are students who have been identified by the counseling team and administration as maybe some students that need something different than what the school can offer, and I'm able to fill in a gap with services that I provide to those students. Sometimes an administrator will identify a group of students who maybe I would meet with each week for maybe 8 weeks, going over things like leadership, decision making, goal setting and goal achieving, whatever the administrator or the school leader recommends, and I will meet with that group of students, and the goal again, impact, influence, and to be a positive presence weekly on the school campus. In addition to those student services, one of the things that I get the joy of doing every week at this particular school district, shout out to Chilton ISD, thank you so much for the opportunity to partner with you, but I get to coach those educators on the skills that I am teaching inside of the trainings as it relates to connecting with students. Well, last week during a coaching session, and these coaching sessions occur, the teacher will let me know when their lunch break is, and when they have a moment where we could talk, say, hey man, can you come by my room at this time? Students would be at lunch and I'll be available to chat about some things training wise or things that they're working through. And man, during this conversation, the teacher shared with me about an experience that they had with a student in class. And that experience, this teacher said to me, I got humbled by a student last week, and I was like, what happened? Or earlier this week, what happened? And so they told me that the student was trying to ask a question, and the teacher admitted that she, as the instructor, assumed what the question would be and therefore started giving an answer. Well, they were bantering back and forth in this exchange, asking a question, and so the teacher kept assuming, assuming that she knew what the question was that the student was going to ask in its entirety. Well, as that exchange occurred, finally, the student said, hey, miss, can you let me ask the whole question? And so, oh man, yeah, I'm sorry. The teacher, said, hey, my bad. Go ahead and ask your question. I still think I know the answer, but ask the question. Well, when the student asked the question, the assumption that the teacher made about what the question was going to be was incorrect. Man, was incorrect. I just want to let that sit for a minute. And so the teacher, in her response to that, she was like, oh my man, I'm sorry for not giving you the space to ask the question in its entirety. And she said, as this banter occurred in the class, while the class was in earshot of view, she apologized and was accountable for that exchange and that interaction in front of the class and to that student. Man, two things right there. First of all, assumptions lead to disconnections. As a teacher, as a leader, as an instructor, when we assume that we know what a kid is going to ask, when we assume intention, when we assume the state of the heart or the mindset about something, then we leave room and create room for disconnection. Assumptions create disconnections. And the best way not to assume is to ask questions. Man, in a book that I got coming out pretty soon, The Cycle of Connection, one of the connection styles is the counseling connection style. And this is the style that asks questions before making assumptions. Asks questions to get information, to get understanding, and to allow that person that is being asked the question, in this case the student, to fully convey their thoughts before replying with an answer or replying with a comeback. So man, just want to encourage you that if you are an adult, sometimes we get tired, right? Sometimes we get to moving into class and we got things going on, and we can get in a space where we're making assumptions. But understand that every assumption we make creates room for disconnection between us and our class, us and the students, us and those that we're trying to lead, teach, serve, and help to be their best self, right? And so that's what I want you to take that into consideration. The second thing that I like you to take into consideration is that when that educator knew that she was in the wrong, she accepted responsibility, not only to that student, but to the class as a whole, in front of that, to that student in front of the class, so that this could be witnessed, because that teaches a lesson. Even without teaching at the board, she was teaching a lesson about how to accept responsibility, how to humble yourself in such a way where you can apologize for the assumption that you made, and not giving that person a chance to get the whole thought off before replying. And so, man, that's a valuable lesson in and of itself, man. Even when we mess up, we can teach, right? Even when we stumble and our imperfections show forth, there's still an opportunity for us to engage, to teach, and to create even further to create connection. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, just want to encourage you that as you're working with your young people, you're teaching, if you're a parent, sometimes as parents, we can make assumptions, and I got a whole list of stories on spaces that I've made assumptions about things that my kids were thinking, feeling, and saying that led to some disconnection, and I was all wrong. I was all barking up the wrong tree. You know what I'm saying? And so, so we all are susceptible to it. But the key is, when it comes to your attention and you're aware that you made an assumption which caused the disconnection, the best way to get the connection back is to humble yourself, accept responsibility, be accountable for that mistake, apologize to that student if that's needed, right? And to level it up. You know what I'm saying? That takes things to a whole new level right there. You know what I'm saying? Because that empowers the student, says that their voice is valuable, that they are important, that the connection that you have with them is valued, and that you want to keep it healthy. And then you're teaching them a lesson as well. So, man, just want to encourage y'all, man. I know educating is a difficult job. The longer the year gets, the more difficult it gets. It's very underappreciated. And I dare say undervalued. And so I just want to encourage you, man, just keep moving forward, keep being the best version of yourself that you can, continue to develop your self-awareness so that you can make the adjustments that you need to make to be the teacher that you envision yourself being. You know what I'm saying? Stay locked into your why and keep moving forward, man. And if you guys have any questions or would like for me to do a training at your school, man, reach out, inbox, let me know what you guys are needing. And then if we have a service that can meet that need, we'll definitely be there to provide it, man. Thank you for your time. Be encouraged and be blessed. Take care.